Well, it happened. It was talked about, rumored about, especially from West Virginia Twitter folk, and it happened. It happened. It happened. It happened. Chester Frazier is now off to West Virginia to take a job there, not a head coaching job, but just a regular old job, kind of. So we're going to discuss that, what this means for the Illini. And now Brad Underwood's going to have to find a new assistant coach, but we're going to discuss it here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow Ray on Apple and iTunes. It helps just grow. So if you like it, please just hit the subscribe button. You don't even have to hit the like button, just subscribe. Something on this podcast for everybody. So a couple days ago, the Voice of the Mountaineer Twitter page, I don't even care, said that it was reported that Chester Frazier was going to go to West Virginia. And when you looked it up, the only thing you ever found was certain Illinois affiliated type of podcasts or blogs just talking about exactly what I talked about, which was, well, this one Twitter page has said that he's going, but we can't seem to find anything else. Nobody's saying anything. And so, is this true? Is this not true? And I discussed that, did they have a conversation? The head coach, did he reach out because they maybe saw each other when they were during the NCAA tournament times? Do they just know each other from another time? And it doesn't hurt when you're a new head coach at a place that is going to reach out to somebody to take a job or interested in taking a job. And what does Chester Frazier bring to the table? Well, I mean, he played at Illinois for years. He was a tough player. I got criticized for comparing him to D Brown, which I don't know why, because they were. And I said they were and they weren't. I said they were with like their energy and their effort. They're like Energizer bunnies that never seem to slow down. That was my comparison. No offense to Chester Frazier. I think D Brown was a better shooter and stuff. And Chester Frazier was just that tough nosed defensive player. So I got criticized for saying that they were similar. I don't know why I was so criticized for it. But anyway, so then this was a couple days ago. We really haven't heard any much from it. I kept to my promise and I was tweeting at the guy, like, are you sure on anything he put out there? I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm not saying anything else. Are you sure? Well, then, of course, last night, getting on X, and it was official that Chester Frazier has taken an assistant coaching job at West Virginia. Now, we talked about it. Leave comments if you're watching this live right now or later on that um, this to me was a step backwards going to West Virginia. And it just sucks to lose a coach like that, especially someone that has given so much to Illinois and has dedicated a lot to the program from his playing days to his now coaching days. And so it just sucks that he's taking a job. Now, I still think we could talk about if it's still a step backwards. From what is reported that he is going to West Virginia and he's going to be like the associate head coach or assistant head coach. So that is a step up from what he is at Illinois. Illinois, he's just an assistant coach. This is the next step in his evolution of his career to be a head coach. And I said that before, and you have to distinguish what you have on your checkbox as coaches, right? We all have them. If you were to look at mine, it was position coach, then it was offensive coordinator, and eventually head coach, and different things of that nature. Like you have those checkpoints, being offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, like it's there, but you have to think about what's good for you and getting into that spot. Um, and so, like I said, it was reported Frazier is expected to be associate head coach at West Virginia, and Darren DeVries, who was at Drake, had good seasons there. He took them to the NCAA tournament the last 4 years. Um, Chester Frazier accomplished a lot at Illinois. While he was an assistant coach, they made 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances. 2022 Share Big Ten regular season championship. 2024 Big Ten tournament championship. They made it to the Elite Eight for the first time since the 2004 2005 season. He played Illinois from 2006 to 2009, so he came around on the scene. That's why I compare him to D Brown because, well, D Brown was around at the very beginning. He earned honorable mention as All Big Ten and team MVP honors as a senior. That Illini team finished tied for second place in the Big Ten and earned a 5 seed NCAA tournament under Bruce Weber. Here's Brad Underwood's take. And he even mentions in this, so think about, I said this is the next step in his career. Brett Underwood kind of echoed those same things. He says, we thank Chester for his undying loyalty, his dedication. Nobody bled orange and blue more than him. He's a guy that's lived it, but I'm excited for him. He came here wanting to win championships because he didn't as a player, and he came away with 2. I am excited his path as an associate head coach is his next step. Excited it puts him back in a vicinity where his name recognition will really, I think, pay off for him and his desire to be a head coach. He was a fantastic assistant coach, and I wish him nothing but the best. So Brad Underwood echoed this, that he wants to be a head basketball coach. Now, from the outside looking in, we can sit here and say, well, if you stayed Illinois, where Illinois is at right now, to me, and I don't care, people comment, West Virginia fans, bring it on. Bring it on to me in the comments when you watch this later on. I do not care. Bring it on. Let's have a discussion. Bring it on. Illinois is in a better place right now than West Virginia. I said it. They just are. What did West Virginia do? Hmm. Let's look it up for you guys. But to me, I think Illinois is in a better spot right now. Now, just because of a new head coach, we don't know. Transfer portal, everything else. But I'm just saying, in this moment, as I sit here, Illinois is in a better spot than West Virginia when it comes to basketball. We can talk about football too, but that's a whole other conversation. Um, but they are in a better spot. They just are. And I'm sorry. So that's why all of us looking in to this, Chester Frazier, like, is this a better job? It's a better job in terms of you wanting to be a head coach. And I said this before. He has to think about, okay, I came to Illinois for a reason, to get them Big Ten championships. They made it all the way to Elite Eight. He accomplished what he wanted to do. He accomplished certain things as a player. So now the next step in his evolution of becoming a head coach is, do I just stay in as assistant coach, or do I go to West Virginia, new head coach, new environment, and show that I can help with Illinois in rebuilding, learn that stuff from Coach Underwood, hopefully go to West Virginia and do the same thing. So when another head job opens up and he thinks it's a good fit, he goes for it. He can add to that resume of, look what happened when I was at Illinois and the job I did there. Look what happened when I went to West Virginia and we turned it around and got these recruits and did these things. That is what his mindset now is. But he's also taking a risk because you know what you have in Illinois with Coach Underwood and what is expected there and what they do. With the transfer portal guys they're getting in now, which hopefully the chemistry part, that's the biggest risk when it comes to the transfer portal is the chemistry. But he is nonetheless getting talented guys to come in. And so when you're Chester Frazier, do you risk? I think that's why maybe it took a couple days. They have to finalize contracts and everything. But I do think that he had to sit there and really think about, okay, do I take this risk and go to West Virginia and maybe it doesn't work out? Does that set me back? But these guys, they're competitive, they're in a high level. I don't think they really think about risks like we, us normal folk down here swimming in the, 5-foot part of the pool while they're swimming down in the 10-foot part, that they don't really think about risks like that. They, like Chester Frazier understands the assignment. He's stand on business and he understands what it's going to take and he's going to go and do good things. And it sucks that he left. But something else I didn't even think about, and I should have, is that he is from the Baltimore area. So going out to West Virginia puts him closer to family. And, you know, I think it's just hard to fathom that a guy that played at Illinois comes back to coach. So you would think this was like the dream and stay here. Maybe he wants to continue just to live out towards the Baltimore area, which again, just like the transfer portal, when guys leave, it depends on the reason, right? So if the reason is that a part of this is he wants a new challenge, which is fine as a, I've personally coached football at um 5 to 7 high schools, some for different reasons. But I've coached sports like all together at 7 different schools. Sometimes you just move on, things happen, and you think about it. Coach Underwood already has like his associate head coach, so you would think that if Brad Underwood, God forbid, ever left or something happened, this guy would take the job if he didn't travel with him. And so this is just again next step in his personal career that we cannot blame. I said this. Coaches have their expectations of themselves and they have what their they have to think about their career too, right? And so this is a part of that, and it could look, you could think that's selfish, you could think whatever it is you want, but put yourself, when you go from a job to another job, why do you go to another job? Well, it's probably more money, it's probably next step in your career, not just job, but career. This is his career, and he wants to add that to the resume. And I put the short clip out yesterday. I personally think if the Illinois job, when it does become open one day, hopefully not for a while, no offense to Chester Frazier, maybe then he could say, I'm going to go take it. I'm going to go try and put my name in the hat and say, look what I did for a player as Illinois. Look what I did when I coached here. Look what I did when I went to West Virginia and helped them out. So, I mean, that's part of it. I want to circle back because I really want West Virginia fans to comment on this. I really want you to. You went 9-23. So I had comments saying like, "Hey, do you know West Virginia basketball? Go watch the video and actually listen to what I said, not just hear me, actually listen to me." I said West Virginia has had a lot of good moments, especially when Higgins was the head coach. And I said this, he wore stuff like this to coach in. Like, that's awesome. That's what I love to coach in. Like, that's the thing. You were 9-23 last year. So don't tell me at this moment that West Virginia is in a better place than Illinois. Like, you went 4 and like, no, there's no comparison. And I'm not trying to talk trash about those coaches and stuff, but like this is more towards the fans. The year before, 19 and 15, not bad. But I mean, like, really, is it really in a better spot? Year before that, 16 and 17, four, like, are you sure? Are you positive? Like, it's been in a weird spot. And I said this, it wasn't a good spot a while back, but like, really? So if you compare it to Illinois over the last 3 years, and I'll pull it up for you, and I'll do it again in a different website to make sure I'm right. This year, Illinois was 29-9 because you count the NCAA tournament, 20-13 the year before, 23-10 the year before that, 24-7 the year before that, and then the season that was heading into COVID that they would have made the NCAA tournament, 21-10. I mean, so in the last couple years, Illinois has been in a good spot. So let's go to West Virginia one more time. I know this is great radio. Okay. 9-23 this year. 9 and 15 the year before that, 16 and 17 the year before that, 19 and 10 the year before that, and then Illinois and West Virginia were the same in that year going into COVID, where West Virginia would have made the NCAA tournament, 21 and 10. Cool. But like I know the year before that, Illinois went 12 wins, but West Virginia, you went 15 and 21. Okay. Like I said, there was that small period of time where Illinois or West Virginia was good. I mean, if you go back to when Illinois made the national championship, um, 24 and 11, 22 and 11, 27 and 9, 26 and 11, 23 and 12 between 2004 and 2010 when they went 31 and 7. So I said there was a period of time where West Virginia basketball was very nice. Okay. Then it kind of is still middle of the pack. 19 and 14, 13 and 19, 17 and 16, 25 and 10, which is good. 26 and 9, 28 and 9, 26 and 11. Very nice. Very competitive. It's nice. But then, like, so don't sit there and tell me that West Virginia is like Duke or UConn. Like, don't these West, and this is not towards like I would love like if their head coach came on the podcast, I would be absolutely ecstatic. But like the fans that commented and said things, don't act like you guys are way up here and Illinois is just way, way, way down here. They're more similar than you think. And at this moment in time, no offense to their head coach, we got to see what he does, which is a good step getting Chester Frazier. Don't don't sit there and talk about that. Illinois right now at this very moment in time as we sit here on April 17th, 2024, Illinois basketball is in a better spot than West Virginia. Because some guy goes, does he even know basketball? Stick to football. Shut up. Go away. But sad to see West Virginia or Chester Frazier go to West Virginia. Sad to see it. What is he going to bring? He's going to bring in toughness for the guards that he coaches. He has a good offensive mind and especially defensive mind and full court pressure. He people said he was an underrated recruiter. Anywhere he went, he's known for being a recruiter. So I don't understand that part at all. So he's going to be a good recruiter. He's going to bring guys in. Some Illinois basketball players have entered the transfer portal, and this could be maybe they're going to follow him. Maybe they see the guys that Illinois bring. This podcast isn't about. This episode isn't about. It's not about the transfers. We'll do that later and see what those guys bring to the table. But maybe they're going to follow him. Maybe they saw the guys that got brought in for the transfer portal and they're going to see their minutes drop, so they want to go somewhere else. Possible, but he's a good recruiter. He understands the Baltimore area and the whole East Coast recruiting players. So that's what he's going to bring to that team. And it just adds to his resume. So sad to see him go, but we wish him as Illinois fans nothing but the best. Hopefully Illinois and West Virginia don't cross paths. But wish him nothing but the best. It sucks to see him go. This will be the first time since a couple years ago. In 3 years, he hasn't had to fill a coach. Brad Underwood hired Frazier, Tim Anderson, and Alexander in 2021. After Gentry went to Gonzaga, Antigua went to Kentucky, and Coleman went to Kentucky. Maybe those guys are going to be open again because new head coach coming in. Is he going to keep those guys Kentucky? Are they going to have to hop back? Does he hire one of them back? Do they want to come back to Illinois? That is quite possible. So maybe bring Coleman or Antigua back would be big time to bring them back. So what does this mean? Illinois is still going to be very, very competitive next year. And I think Chester Frazier knows that. He put out there on his X last night or this morning that you leave it better than you found it. He left it better than he found it. And they'll miss him. And, the guard play will miss him from coaching wise. It's going to miss him from bringing that energy from the bench. They're going to miss that part. But Illinois is in a spot where hopefully it's just a well-oiled machine and they're constantly, competing for Sweet 16 and Big Ten titles. So, that'll wrap up this episode talking about Chester Frazier going to West Virginia. Like and subscribe. Follow him right on Apple and iTunes. At Coach _Steve 72 and the Coach Steve Show, both on X. Coach Steve 72 on Instagram, Coach Steve 72 on TikTok. Yes, TikTok. I said TikTok. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. And absolutely leave comments. Let's have a discussion, especially you West Virginia fans. If you stumble upon this, let's go. Let's go a few rounds. All right. Go in the comments. Let's go a few rounds. But thanks you guys for watching or listening. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.